Alright, welcome back to part 2. I'll make sure that part 2 is duly designated because we had to split this thing up into 2 parts, and I don't know if it was real clear on the YouTube heading, but we'll get that straightened away. Now, as I was saying before we split last time, the crux of the deal was getting the steering wheel off. Well, that little pinion bolt that I was telling you about, that actually drives a cam that backs out the centered bolt that holds the steering wheel on. So it's kind of cool. It's kind of a trick little thing. When you back it out enough, it just falls out. I don't know if you can see in there, but the middle of the steering wheel is threaded, and it's splined on the outside to correspond with these splines here. Now everything is you want to be very careful with this too, because it does have an airbag in it. So we'll just stick that there. Now this clock type of device here, you can see it moves back and forth. The connector's on the bottom. This arrow, I don't know if you can see, lines up with that arrow right there. That's exactly how it's going to be, and that's exactly how it should be. And putting it back together is not a big deal as long as you don't disturb anything. Okay, but what we're going to do, just to make sure that it doesn't move, we're going to take a little masking tape, and that's a crappy piece right there, so let's just do it here. We're just going to tape that over that. And we're going to take another piece and do the same thing on the other side. Maybe it doesn't work that great with masking tape. So make sure the arrows are lining up. Let's get some hair on it. Sure don't like to stick, but you get the idea. Anything you got to do to make a stick on. If this thing doesn't really stick together too well, I'm just going to take it off anyway. And okay, all right. The masking tape sucks. Okay, so here, there's 3 screws holding that whole deal on. All right, we're going to take those screws out. Now everything else on this vehicle has been metric. But I put a 5 and a 6 millimeter on there, and it didn't fit right. I used a 7/32 standard deal, and I'm gonna use that. And be very careful not to, now that I don't really have tape holding that whole thing. I'm gonna loosen all the screws up before I take any of them out. Just do it nice and gentle, like. Now all these screws, all 3 of them are the same size. So you don't have to worry about that. And so, after these 3 come out, guess what? I'm going to put these in our little plate up here. Alright, now this will come right off. Here, let's slide that back on real quick, because there's another connector down here we have to take off. And you can see it's the yellow connector down here. It's got the same type of connector that this one had that went on underneath the steering wheel. I'm just going to pop each side off. And there's that little spring again that goes in that keeper that holds that whole thing together. So we're going to put that back on there, like so. And we're gonna, and I think they are identical. Those 2 keepers are identical, but once I unplug this bad boy here, see, you can pull that out a little bit, and then there's another And you can take something like this and push up on it. Yeah, you know what I'm going to do. Make sure I didn't turn that thing, and I didn't. I'm just going to push it up and push it out. Okay? So that's disconnected. Now this whole assembly, I got my arrows lined up. It slides right on there. I'm going to put him up in a safe place. Now, this is the multi-function switch here that does all your wipers and everything else. This is really, I'm not even going to disconnect these connectors here. I'm just going to take off 1, 2, and it looks like 2 Phillips screws, and that should slide right on off. There might be another one going up underneath the bottom. Yeah, yes there is. There's another one coming up here underneath the bottom. So we're going to take that one out too. And whoop. No. And let's see if these screws are okay. See, this whole deal just goes right on over. I'm going to leave the screws right in there, everything. I'm just going to leave it lay. Okay, it's no big deal. I'm going to take the third screw, and I'll put it in our little plate up there. Now, all that's holding this bad boy on is 1, 2, 3 screws there, and oh, you know what? Hey, let's look at this here. This is the one that I took off. This is, so we're not gonna take any of this stuff off. We're gonna take off 1, 2, 3 two 10 millimeter bolts, nuts, and 1 10 millimeter bolt that's going through here underneath this shifter, and then we're good to go. Okay, so that's gonna slide off. That's the new one's gonna, or the replacement part is gonna slide right back on. So let's do that. I need a 10 millimeter, and I'll get that right now. 10 millimeter right here. Okay. Oh, and just so you know, another thing you have to do before that comes off, you have to disconnect the, we have to disconnect the shifter cable from the bottom of that assembly. Okay? So let's do that. Let's see how that, I put this thing on, so you figure I should be able to get it off, right? So I'm gonna take, it's got a circlip, and then that just pops off. Don't turn anything, because then you won't have to adjust your cable again. Alright, we'll put that circlip up here in our little plate. Alright, now we're gonna take this bad boy off. Now I see, oh yeah, that reminds me too. There's also a what do you call it? Little keeper that holds the cable in. You know, one of those little deals where you just stick it in the hole, and it holds the cable in place. So I'm gonna try and get that out. There it goes. and that'll go back into. So we got our shifter cable disconnected. We got the wiring harness disconnected from that. We're gonna disconnect using our 10mm socket. We're gonna take the 3 screws out. We're gonna take the 2 nuts off, and we're gonna take the 1 bolt out. Here, let me get in here. Okay. How we doing?
Good.
Good. And I want to thank my daughter Melissa for being cameraman on this job.
Camerawoman.
Camera woman. Okay. Now the only torque specs that I found on this whole thing was the actual steering wheel. Remember I told you that pinion thing, it backs out that nut that actually goes right on here on the end of the steering wheel. So on the steering wheel it'll turn that nut within it and tighten it up. It has to be 132 inch-pounds. That's the torque specification for that bolt. And as far as I know, that's the only deal that you gotta worry about as far as torque specs are. Here, I'll put those up there. Okay, let's see what we got going here. Alright, so we have a connector down here. Can you see it down there, miss? It's right down here.
Yeah,
This is the one we got to take off, and we will do that. We will do that. Okay, you're gonna have to just. There's a. Looks like there's a. Oh yeah, there's a push tab on the top of it. So you push that tab down, and the connector comes off very easily. You see this? Push that tab down, and it just slides right out, slick as butter. And there you go. That's the whole deal. That's what's causing all your problem right there. Where you can't get that key out of the ignition. It's this piece of poop right there. So we're gonna I'll toss this over here, and hopefully the one I got from the junkyard is good. Alright, so we're gonna go back and install our new one. And I don't know, guys, if you really need to see all this other stuff. Putting it back together is just reverse of how it came apart. So I'll wait to hear from you on it
in the comment section.
Yeah, I mean, I'll hell, I'll even take this thing apart again and put it back together to, you know, if you want to see it put back all the way. But it seems pretty straightforward. As long as you put it back together and you don't have any extra parts, you know, that's kind of to me that's where I look at it as a success. You know, anytime I put something back together and I got no parts left over, I think I did a damn good job. So try to inject a little bit of humor when I can, because this has been it's been several months of driving around with the key in the ignition and a couple of dead batteries, because apparently when it's not registering that it's not in park, you still have a key in it, it's partially on, there's something draining it, you know, it could be supplying just some voltage to some parts of the different components and capacitors charging up and discharging and getting batteries going, discharging, I don't know. But this is it, guys. And so I'm gonna leave it go for there, and then I'm gonna go in and I'll edit it and stuff to where that.
I'll edit it.
Yeah, Melissa will edit it, because I'm a retard when it comes to uploading stuff. So that's quite nice. Now, you gotta say, what went on next? Well, that's where our multifunction switch came in. And there's little tabs on there. You can see little holes on there next to the thing. It's pretty much foolproof. You can't screw this thing up if you just take your time on it and make sure everything goes together nice. There it goes. Just slips right in. And we got, remember, this is the one that has the three not the three amigos, no. It has the three screws that are the same size. Where did I put that? There it is. And this is the, where's that? No. Oh. Is that? No. Okay. Sorry guys, bear with me 1 second. I lost that little 7/32 jabber. And it didn't go back in there. Did you see where I put that mesh?
No.
Okay. 7/32 wrench. Oh, here it is. Sorry about that, guys. Alright. So I'm gonna... Oh, you know what I gotta do, I think, before you go and start screwing a whole bunch of stuff together, you gotta get that connector in on the back. Remember we pulled that out and then unplugged it, so we'll plug it back in and then throw your screws in. So that will be... Chewbacca? Where'd it go? Okay. Now I'm gonna look like a dumbass. Was it on the, yeah, it was on the other stupid thing. Okay. Sorry, guys. Go ahead.
What?
We can put that back in. Yeah, I know. Well, this one doesn't have a keeper on the deal, so. You know what? Alright. See? Maybe it's better off that I did that. These guys were on the clock, remember? Okay. It was the little Phillips head screws that went on there that held that multi function switch in together. So I apologize on that. But hey, this is I am your guinea pig when it comes to this deal. But this is definitely the part that was malfunctioning, so let me come up with something else, Jake. why. Okay. Why? Why? This one. That doesn't jive. Just make sure that this deal was just why. Oh, because it went up that way. That's right. The third screw on the holding the multi-function switch went up underneath. So I had again the wrong deal. Hey, okay. You got to learn from the. And of course, no, I can't get the damn thing out. And you still got the camera on me, huh?
Do you want me to end it?
Yeah. I'm just gonna say bye for now. That last screw goes on there. Our other components only have two. Don't forget to put the keepers on the connectors in the right spot. Everything else is readily available to find out how to. You know, I might do a part 3 on this thing. What do you think?
Okay.
Just to button it back together. But if I don't, no worries, guys. Put it back together. Take some notes and refer to the video. I'll talk to you later. I hope you like this. I know it's my first video and it might be a little shaky in spots, but I thought this needed to be done. Okay. Adios.